Bonjour, Cheesemeisters, and welcome to Le Peach Pod. Je m'appelle Jeff, et I am the king of quiet time, n'est-ce pas? And joining me on the other end of the internet, my co-host.
Je m'appelle Leslie, et je fume, encore?
Smoke him if you got him.
And I got him. It's fake.
So no music this episode again, which is weird. So I guess that would have been that French song that came out in 1992 called "It's Tough Being a Baby." Are you familiar with this song? This was like this weird hit. You should listen to this at some point. I don't know. It just occurred to me this morning, and I don't speak French, so I read French words, and I don't know like how to say them. You know, like I don't know what these words how they're pronounced. But there was this weird song in French, and it was like all about how hard it is to be a baby, and it was I don't know. That's the song.
The only French song I can possibly sing is "Sympathique" by Pink Martini.
Okay.
It's a great song.
Where is Thumpkin? Where is Thumpkin? Here I am. Here I am.
Wait.
How are you today, sir? Very well, I thank you. Run away. Run away.
No, I just thought of another one. Have you ever seen South Pacific?
I don't believe I have.
Okay, well then you won't know this, but like there are two French Polynesian children in it, and at one point they sing a song called "Dites-moi pourquoi," and it's all so that's the other one I can sing.
Excellent. I'm a big fan of Where Is Pointer.
Valid. You mean Frère Jacques?
Where is Pinky? Where is Pinky? Here I am. Here I am. Yeah, that's what I meant. I don't know why that's a song that we made Frere Jacques about your fingers. I don't know when that happened, but it did at some point.
You know what? Why start the morning with, derisive stuff about America? I'll just, because we did.
We did. I'll take it.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that tune now. And Brother Jacques, I suppose. Brother Jack.
Yeah. Brother Jack.
Yeah.
Whose real name's probably Hubert.
Facts. Inside cousin joke.
No.
All right. So this week. Oh.
Fais la bouche.
Llegué la bouche.
Fiche la vache. Quoi? Fiche la vache.
Oh.
All right.
Savez-vous? So this week, Cheesemeisters, we are doing Season 3, Episode 3, Too Little Too Late / Paris 75001. Original air date, July 29th, 1992. So deep in the heart of summer here. We're shaking the dust of Melrose off of our shoes and moving on. Did you watch the Melrose? Let's get rid of the Melrose part. Did you watch the Melrose? Or the Kelly?
I did.
Yeah, I skipped a lot of it.
I went ahead and watched the whole thing because I've been trying to do yoga for longer bouts, and it's hard to force myself to do it for an hour or close to that if I'm not in a class. And so I used Melrose Place to do that. I was like, I'm only going to care about 5 minutes of this episode. I will do yoga throughout the rest of it. Yeah.
So you emotionally invested in Billy's screenplay that it took him 3 weeks to write, or
no.
What's Josie Bassett's name in her wedding ring?
That was so stupid. I thought, honey, the ring will be just as enticing to idiots. Right. You can keep the ring on. It's not going to deflect anything.
Yeah, they're going to keep coming.
Yep.
Le challenge.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Kelly is stupid still with Jake. She's the dumbest character in the world when she's around Jake.
But he's also an idiot. Really?
Oh, he sucks.
He's terrible. You thought the only way you couldn't use your words and just fucking be an adult or close to an adult and say, like,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, for one thing, you really don't like her, you really don't want her around, don't fucking have her over to cook dinner.
Right. A lot. Multiple
Like,
times.
I get you're hungry and you're using the tactic that women have been using for years because, like, hey, we love a free meal, we love free drinks. It's
Right.
great. Um, but like she's a kid and you are actively trying to you keep complaining, oh my god, this girl.
Yeah. She won't leave me alone. Hey, come over here. I wish she would leave me
Right.
alone.
Also, like, you don't you act like you don't want to get accused of some shit or get in trouble. Why are you having her in your home alone?
Right. Yeah. I feel like that's enough. Like, that's enough to get you in trouble.
Absolutely it is.
Yeah. So maybe don't.
Yeah.
Um, Guys in your 20s out there, don't invite 17-year-olds to your house. Just don't. Don't do
Just
it.
don't.
It's a bad idea. It's a bad
Yeah.
idea. Um, and if you do, don't do it repeatedly. And if you do it repeatedly, don't call up some rando that you know and have her pretend to have a date with you that night in order to make the 17-year-old feel shitty.
Yeah.
Like, it's just, I don't,
It
just
was
idiot.
there's no yeah, I could rant and rant, but like it's just stupid. It's
It
just
really is. So we're done. We don't have to go back and watch any more Melrose unless you want to see how things go as you yoga.
I don't.
I don't blame you. Um,
I'm sorry. It's just because of where I am in my 30s, and granted, I'm sure in my 40s and beyond, I'm gonna be like, you dumbass. But at the same, that's part of growing up. But like, I just can't watch people in their 20s right now struggle unless it's like a Mindy Kaling project, and then we'll talk. But no, this is bad.
it is. It's real dumb, and it changes considerably. And I'm not going to say that Melrose ever gets good because
Sure.
it's always like nonsense, but it gets soapy, like ridiculous, over the top soapy instead of whatever this thing is that they're still trying to figure out. And so it becomes more entertaining over time
Okay.
because like Heather Locklear comes in and the whole dynamic of the show changes. You've got like a bad guy, um, and
Oh.
people go nuts, and Michael becomes like evil, and other people move in, and other people move out, and it becomes much more um, over the top, ridiculous, and that has its own kind of appeal. It can
Yeah.
be kind of fun, but uh, I don't know. I feel like you could skip the whole, I don't know, first season almost, and then jump in and be like, oh, okay, I see what this is.
I feel like a lot of dramas, at least on prime time, struggle with, staying away from the soap of it all. Because, like, I
Uh-huh.
remember when I would ask my choir teacher in high school, like, do you watch Grey's Anatomy? No, it's a soap opera. And I went, it's not a soap opera. Soapy. But like I don't know. I don't know how you stay away from that. Like people love that stuff. The only reason soap operas have died out is because the people they were catered to are in the workforce now.
Right. Yeah.
You
Yeah. It's I mean, I like soapy stuff sometimes. It's fun. 90210 becomes a soap. Um and some of that is the most fun stuff. Um
Yeah.
but, it's not always true of dramas the way that it is of sitcoms, where I think it was Mike Schur maybe, or Greg
Mhm.
Garcia, one of the people involved in Parks and Rec, um, was saying, like, for a sitcom, what they should do is just bring together a writer's room, let them write 10 episodes, film them, never show them to anybody, and throw them away. And then you know what the show is. Like,
Ah.
it takes that long to find like the rhythm and
Yeah.
who the characters are and what the tone of the show is. And so if you look at like that first season of The Office, you can kind of, that first season of Parks and Rec, you know, and even like the first season of 90210 is a very different show than the
Yeah.
second season. And the second season is different than the third. And then when they get to college, it's different. And like the show keeps changing and evolving. And I think that happens with Melrose too.
Mm.
It doesn't happen with everything, but I do think shows that get like a longer run tend to get better for the first few years as they
Yes.
really figure themselves out. Like I think uh, The Simpsons doesn't peak until like season 5. Like doesn't hit its stride until season 5, and then
Yeah.
it's genius for like 10 years. It has moments. The X-Files like best season is like starts with season 3. Like
Hmm.
there's great shit in seasons 3 and 4, but there's really good stuff in 1 and 2, but there's more misses, and things that just don't they haven't figured it out yet, and
Yeah.
that's true a lot. Um, but we are in season 3 now
Yes,
for
we are.
90210.
And I'm psyched.
Um, yeah. So
Je suis
here's what
psyched.
happens. What's that?
Je suis psyched.
I don't speak French. Um, it's gonna be my reaction to most things. I do not speak French.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I know I'm ridiculous. So this episode, uh, Andrea is full on working at the beach club, working with all these little kids. Brandon has nothing to do. So much so that he gets buried in sand, which had to have taken like 45 minutes. Those little kids, that took a long time.
Yeah.
And there's a deaf kid, Cameron, who Andrea really wants to include, which is awesome. And his mom is very reticent, which is understandable, but also not awesome.
Yeah.
And, Jay, before he goes and joins the family funeral home business or the sports broadcaster business, is going to go to the Republican National Convention and intern for CNN, where he will, I don't know, meet Dan Quayle. Maybe, I don't know. He's very excited about it. He's Republican. He's the enemy. She's a card-carrying liberal. In order to make that work, you have to make out in public.
Awkwardly.
James Carville and Mary, James and Mary need to be the guide for these two.
Oh.
Oh yeah, it's a whole thing. And then Brandon acts like a shithead and tries to make Andrea feel shitty so she doesn't leave, so that like he basically just tries to nag her into a relationship.
Yeah.
And then he kisses her and she really is not cool with that. And then he says he's sorry and she forgives him. And then she decides to stay, but not because of Brandon, because of Cameron, because no one in California can sign for the deaf. No one's learned ASL except for Andrea. So,
I mean, I would kind of believe that.
I mean, there's got to be more than one high school kid who knows how to sign. Yeah.
I mean, it's so rare. It's something I think more and more of I would like to know how to do. And like, I wish it was included in, one of many things I wish was included in like elementary or middle school curriculum. Like,
Mm-hmm.
just.
They should teach it in parenting classes. We used it when Liam was a baby.
Yeah.
Because babies can communicate before they can speak.
Mm-hmm.
They can't form the words, but they can tell you they want more.
Yeah.
More. And we can say, all done. We're out. Whatever the direct translation of this move is, it's basically no more food for you. That's what it means for the baby. Like we use little ones, with him, and that helped.
Yeah.
Especially more. Big with more. More was large in this house. And so it's really helpful at that age. And, my brother is fluent in ASL, out fluent, I guess, I suppose, because he was speech pathology and he learned it and he used it. And I don't know that he uses it a whole lot now. I'm just in his current role. But it's a thing he knows. So, we did that a little bit then. And I think it would be really helpful. But there's got to be more. Like, this is a job at a beach club. And that's a great summer job. And playing with kids, if you're predisposed to wanting to do that, is a lot of fun for a summer job.
Yeah.
And if you said the job requirement is must be able to sign, you would get 50 kids apply that could do it. Because Los Angeles is a big place.
That's true.
You could replace Andrea tomorrow. Now, that doesn't mean that they would know Brandon personally, which seems to be the only job qualification here, is just, do you know Brandon? Yes, have a job.
Why? That should be... Why Henry? Like, Henry's just so bemused at this point by this fool. Like,
I feel that maybe it is, if you are friends with Brandon, I know that you can handle a certain level of bullshit. And being able to handle bullshit is a requirement in any job.
You can handle being yelled at.
Yeah, you can handle someone negging you. And trying to emotionally manipulate you. That's good. Because if you're working with little kids, like there's one little kid going to come up crying because he wants it like a toy. Shut up. You don't need it. Share. Like, don't play on my heartstrings. It's fine. Go play.
It's like when one kid sneezes and then 10 more do it expecting the attention that I just gave the first one. And I'm like, no. Right. You all did that on purpose.
It's fake sneeze. Achoo.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
You know where the tissues are.
The sneeze in French. Achoo. Garçon, achoo. So also what's happening in this episode is that Dylan has to write a letter to the parole board about what a great dad his dad was, even though he wasn't. And he and Kelly hang a little bit, and there's some tug of war, and there's frolicking.
Falling into each other's arms.
Yeah, falling onto each other's faces. I cannot believe that happened.
Trying to adjust herself.
She should. You can pop right out of that leopard skin shit. It's very problematic. And speaking of problematic, Donna don't speak no French. And they are in France now. And their hotel room is large, but a little rundown.
It's fine. I did not understand. I was like, oh, things are mismatched. Bite me. You're in Paris.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Your cupboard is, live out of your suitcase is fine. You can hang something up. I don't know what that means, but it's stupid.
Too bad for you.
Yeah. There you go. And bathrooms on the third floor at the end of the hall. The hot water taking tokens, I think, is weird, but I've never lived in Europe, so maybe that's a thing or was a thing. I don't know.
Bathrooms?
Well, just a bath.
No, but I mean like
like a toilet to get into the toilet. Yeah.
Kind of like when you're crossing state lines or something here. Like I remember when I was abroad and I think when we first got into France and we're using one of those like, station stops or whatever, you had to use tokens. And I thought, it's like You're in Town the musical. Except not.
Slightly different. Yeah, so let's see. And then they go on a walking tour of like one square in Paris. And they go to Balzac's house, and which I don't know why they're interested in Balzac's house. It's not something that Brenda would be interested in. It's something that Dylan would be interested in.
Right. Maybe that's why she's going.
I mean, it probably is, but it doesn't, like, who cares?
They heard it mentioned in The Music Man and heard that Balzac is controversial. So they're like, I want to read his shit.
I have not yet read his shit.
I haven't either. I just know Balzac from Music Man.
Oh, I just know Balzac from
Gross.
A ball sack. I don't know what to tell you.
Wow.
Look, if you're going to be a French writer named Balzac, you've got to be prepared for me to make fun of your name. All there is to it.
I think they are more than prepared for Americans making fun of them, unfortunately.
Nobody in 1850 was ready for me. That's all I'm saying.
They were ready to burn my kind.
Well, yeah, because of the way you wear your beret. Too jaunty.
Ouch!
A witch. Burn the witch.
Let's burn her!
So, yeah, they walk around Paris. They go to a party that I'm really going to need to talk about a little bit.
Please.
Donna eats a lot of pastries. They go to a fancy French restaurant, eat brains, which is like, one of those 90210 moments. The way Tori spits that out is funny.
No. It was so perfect. Like, it was the one time I thought, okay, I will forgive Donna for being like, stupid American in this minute.
Alrighty. So Donna's a big whiny bitch. About all of France. But funny.
I thought it.
Oh, she is such a pill.
She's driving me nuts.
Yeah, it is just,
And there will be that person on your trip. Like,
yeah, of course. But it's just, everything's a problem for her. And she doesn't speak French, and she's shitty about it. And she doesn't want, and I don't blame her for being done with cigarette smoke after being on a flight for 7 hours, or God, from LA. How long is that flight? I only know what it's like from here.
It's got to be half a day.
It's probably like 10 to 11 hours. It's a long flight.
Yeah.
That's a lot of smoke to inhale. I get it, not wanting to but if there's one thing we've learned from 90210 and The Big Lebowski is don't insult the cab driver. Don't tell him not to smoke. Don't tell him that it's been a long day and you hate the fucking Eagles, man, because you're going to get kicked out of the cab.
Yeah.
And then you got to walk some more.
La porte, ici.
Yeah, the door is there. Use it, bitches.
Je fume, okay?
Yeah, I like that guy.
I do too.
Although, I like him, except for here's this: you're in a service industry. How about don't piss off your customers? How about don't throw away your livelihood by kicking people out of your car the only way you make money? What if Billy, instead of writing his screenplay, kicked people out of his cab all the time? Well, I'll tell you what'll happen. In the second episode, he didn't kick anybody out of his cab. He turned the fare off and he banged the lady. So I find that more justifiable than what the French cab driver does.
I find that to be more French than what the French cab driver does.
I'm saying it was, I get it. It's your car. It's your country. Do what you want. But also, if you would like this cab fare, maybe don't smoke in your car if someone is uncomfortable with it. You don't have to be an asshole.
It's unfair propaganda against the French again, making them look like they're the mean ones.
Right. Well, and also, yeah. And this episode was about smoking.
Oh my God.
So many cigarettes in this episode. The whole plane ride, the whole cab ride, the entirety of the party.
Is it any wonder Brenda's going to swing at some point?
It's obviously what they're setting up. This is degradation in waiting. People are going to try some shit when on this French trip. That's probably not a good idea.
Duh.
Including I don't know. But yes, Donna's a pain in the ass, and they walk around. They go to Balzac's house. They eat the brains, and then they go to the party, and Donna has to go to the toilet because that's your safety valve. And I don't know. They're still in Paris. Nothing really happens other than they eventually call home. They've settled in. It's fine. And we're off and running on this adventure of degradation.
Yeah.
So I don't feel like I'm ready to talk about this fucking weird ass party yet. So what do you think this episode is really about? I think I gotta gear up for this party because this party is some kind of fucked up.
Yeah, mostly for the one guy, but we'll get to him.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
Oui. Sorry.
no, you're fine. I feel like this episode, at its core, is about how important it is to know the language of whom you're speaking to. You know,
Sure.
it's important to know a variety of languages.
Mm-hmm.
It's important to know the language of where you're traveling to. You know,
Mm-hmm.
it's just nice and polite. Um, it's, I think it's important to know ASL. Do I
Mm-hmm.
know it? Unfortunately not. I would love
Yeah.
to learn it someday, but
French or ASL. I mean, a little bit. Oui.
I can get by in France. I've done it before. I'm a little rusty, but it's something I keep working on. Again, I want to be able to speak in multiple languages.
Mm-hmm.
It's also important to know other people's love language. It's important to know how to speak to people of different political parties,
Mm-hmm.
which we
Yeah.
definitely don't know how to do anymore.
The answer is
Maybe
make out in a restaurant.
No, the answer is apparently coerce someone to making out in a restaurant. Oh my God, Jeff, it is too early for that.
No, it's exactly the right time. There's time differences. You don't know what time it is in Paris and in LA, and it's
Croatia.
yeah, all sorts of there's plenty of time for. Here's what this episode's about: tongues in restaurants.
Oh my God.
Andrea and Jay, Donna, just tongues in restaurants. Anyway,
Yeah.
yes,
But yeah, you
speaking to
have
people, languages.
Andrea who is trying to communicate with a child and a parent,
Mm-hmm.
specifically a deaf child, and the parent of a deaf child, trying to trying to communicate with her Republican boyfriend.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, he's
Sneaky
not so much.
secret Republican boyfriend.
Yeah, what's that
Yeah.
about?
Where do you get off dating me for 3 weeks and then being a Republican?
No.
I mean, I feel like it would have come up in the middle of Batman Returns. I
This
do. I
is
think his political affiliation, he would have been more aligned with Oswald Cobblepot, and it would have been a conversation.
it used to take 3 weeks before you found out someone's political party in a relationship.
That's right. Now it takes 35 seconds.
And then you have Brenda and Donna trying or not trying to communicate with the French.
Mm-hmm.
And then Brandon thinking he's communicating with Andrea in a language she wants to hear, but not convinced. I thank God she wasn't convinced, because honestly, I was just watching with my arms crossed, like, buddy, you don't
Yeah.
like her. I don't know,
Right.
like, where in your deluded brain you think you're just a possessive dick. You
I
just
will.
you don't like that the president of your fan club in your brain
Mhm.
is not interested in you anymore. And also, she was never really chasing you like that. She was okay with being your friend, and you're
Yeah.
being an asshole. Like,
Yeah.
every
I mean,
name I can, I listen.
she did almost buy him a carousel.
That's nothing crazier than what we've seen in many rom.
I just,
Fly out the 8 o'clock show.
that's right. Jeez. All of Radio City Music Hall, Daddy Warbucks? Okay. You couldn't just get like 8 tickets.
Or,
But I'm fine.
buy the orphanage and give those kids a chance at a better life.
Nope. No, we're going to just. Do I smell wet dog?
Orphans are boys! But I know nothing about money. So yeah, this episode is about knowing how to communicate, knowing the language of who you're talking to.
So, a couple things related. One, Brandon's a total asshole, but part of his problem is listening to Steve. Because Steve is always there, ready to just push someone in the wrong direction. But the other person who can't figure out how to communicate what they're feeling is Dylan.
Yeah.
Because he has to write this long letter to the parole board about what a great dad he has, and can't do it. Can't figure it out. And and not for nothing, but Billy can't figure out how to write a good screenplay. But this is what's happening.
Jake can't talk to a teenager because he's so much more mature than one.
I know, everybody. Nobody can talk to anybody. Nobody knows how to communicate. It's like I agree. Like you should know the language of the person you're talking to, but it's also like how to even communicate. How to handle your end of the communication. How to say the thing you mean to say.
Yeah.
Whatever language it is.
Yeah.
Whether it's in the language you speak or whether it's one that you need to learn to get by.
Emotionally.
Like, yeah, no one here knows how to say the thing that they want to say.
Yeah.
Except for Kelly, who's like, David, your music sucks.
You're gonna get a kick.
You're gonna get us kicked out of this club.
And then like slams him, but the door opens and more.
I know. Yeah. Because here's the thing, and you're gonna learn this in excruciating detail. You cannot stop David from making music. As much as you would like to try, for the next 7 years, you're not going to keep David away from a microphone. And right. I wish that we could. But there is a thing called, apparently you get as many chances as you want to have a music career. So
must be nice.
It's it's not nice for us. That's all I'll say. Except for David's music, it lives large in my legend. I'm a big fan of how
he's going to rap, isn't he?
Oh, yes, he's going to rap. He's going to rap. He's going to sing. He's going to dance. He might get multiple record contracts.
What the fuck?
He's not going to get anybody kicked out of anywhere. He's going to form a circle. Just wait. Just wait until we form a circle.
Oh, no.
It's so great. So, yeah. I just go down the David rabbit hole sometimes. It makes me really happy.
Who doesn't?
Yeah, that's fair. So, what do you think about the Jack and Dylan of it all? Do you have thoughts about this relationship, where this is going? What's like? Let me ask you about Green Eggs and Ham.
I thought that was so manipulative.
I thought it was fucking lame.
It was lame. And it's like, oh, you taught him to read once, or you did one thing more than Iris did.
Maybe. We don't know what Iris did. I mean, she might have done two things. He may still be trailing Iris.
She birthed him.
Okay, so they're tied.
Yeah. She put in the she did not deny her body's instincts and pushed him out.
Yeah. It's always something with you, Lisa. First I had to drive your mother to the hospital to give birth to you, and now this. I don't know. I think because of everything else, I kind of put them on the back burner. But Dylan and Jack are clearly going to be a complicated love-hate relationship, even though Jack has not given any sort of evidence that he really loves Dylan. He kind of only cares about Dylan as much as Dylan can help him. That's what Dylan feels for sure, and it definitely seems that way.
And you just, again, you feel bad for him. You feel his inner debate with maybe if I keep trying to help him and understand, or if I do this, I'll finally get the relationship with my dad that I've always wanted.
Right.
That is so relatable when you're not sure how to get the love that you need in the way you need it from a parent.
Right.
So you just keep trying.
Yeah.
In all the weird ways. Or maybe not so weird ways outside of the show, but just it was sad, and I feel bad for Dylan. It seemed like he was taking care of himself in the best way he knew how, and it seemed like he was doing okay with all of it, but this kind of shit adds up, and it feels like it's just gonna build up. And honestly, he probably needs to cut off communication with his dad, but then again, his dad is the one giving him money, and yeah, it's
Well,
complicated. It's not as easy to like cut off communication with family as people think it is.
that's true. I the thing that bugs me about it is very specifically green eggs and ham.
Mm,
Like whenever they try to show me Jack and Dylan bonding,
mm,
it always comes off as this is the only idea we had to show that they have a past.
mm-hmm.
And there's another scene later on that I'll point out when we get there because it bugs me in the same way. But it like they don't have like inside jokes are very specific, right? They're very like they're situational and they are often built around something that is not incredibly universal,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like this is stupid to explain an inside joke, but here's an example. So this is like 25 years ago. Um, we're sitting there playing euchre, and somebody's talking about like chemical warfare and how like somebody like had a bomb that they dropped that gave like the people who were exposed to it a curable disease, like
Okay.
dysentery. Not nice, but you know, like you can deal with it. And so we were like, it'd be awesome if all chemical warfare was just like old timey diseases that we were like a scurvy bomb or
Oh
like
God.
right or like a rickets bomb. And when somebody said rickets, both me and a friend of mine said, "Yeah, Don Ricketts." That's a dumb joke, but because we both thought of it at exactly the same second, it has become like an inside joke.
Yeah.
So if we were having this moment, say we never shared anything together. Oh yeah, Don Ricketts, right? Like that is a very specific joining story
That's how you're gonna manipulate that friend to help you bury a body now.
of facts or move a dead horse, which I
Or
can't rec.
plant a pine tree.
Yeah, oh, yeah, different friend, but yes. I mean, as rumors go, Pine Tree. Um, Nate Bargatze, comedian, has a wonderful bit about getting rid of a dead horse that is so fucking funny. I can't even see straight. Um,
Oh.
that's why I mentioned the dead horse thing. Um, but when Jack wants to prove to Dylan that they have had this this connection together, he chooses a book that literally every person has read.
Yeah.
Everyone on Earth, unless they're in France and they're learning in French because they would say it in French.
Jambon vert?
I'm sure. Um,
It's green ham.
they know. Yeah, I believe you. Um, yeah, they know I do not like them on a boat or whatever verse of Green Eggs and Ham he spoke. It's not anything. I know Green Eggs and Ham and you know Green Eggs and Ham is not a thing.
You know what? You know what he should have quoted? He should have quoted Byron.
Well, I mean, mad, bad, and dangerous to know fucking Green Eggs and Ham. That's nothing.
I was just imagining like what if he read like Edgar Allan Poe to a young Dylan and then he just says, and quoth the raven,
Never. Never. That. Yeah.
Daddy.
No. Yeah. Exactly.
Let you down, son.
I am Annabelle Lee. I will never let you. That's awesome. Remember when I held you up and we frolicked in the ocean and you cried? Remember that? But that is the moment we shared. Oh, right, with a different dad. Forgot.
Misty eyed.
Lame ass. Green eggs and fucking ham. Sam I Am. Oh my God, you know Sam I Am? I know Sam I Am. We're the best of friends. We must have
I
had a relationship.
I hate in any script when like a character likes one thing and then to bridge the gap between another character, the other one's like, "Wait, you know this?" And I'm like,
Right.
"You're explaining it to an audience who knows exactly what you're talking about. Stop
Mhm.
it."
We all know. We all know green eggs and ham. And it's not a thing.
It makes that character look like an asshole. You
Yeah.
know?
Like, because everyone read green eggs and ham to everyone.
Yeah.
Like, that's not a. Remember the moment we bonded over that thing that's so special to us? The book that Dr. Seuss wrote on a dare to see if he could write a book using the fewest words possible. And I can't
Yep.
remember what the number was, but it's like 28 words or something. Like it's
Yeah, it is. It's an
yeah, and
obnoxious.
I mean, but it's like it's fascinating and great job, Dr. Seuss. Like to be able to like craft a whole story using like just that small amount of words. And also it makes it easy for kids to learn to read and all of that stuff. It's great, but it's not a if that's the thing that you're bonding over, yeah, basic. That's all I'm saying.
Edict.
That's
am,
what
I,
it is.
am I throwing that out too much now?
No, that is an edict. If you're bonding over green eggs and ham, you're basic. Edict. We said it right here.
We're getting into the most basic of seasons anyway, and I'm thrilled. So this is a good time for basic shit.
Pumpkin spice season?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Love it. We've lost our damn minds. All right. So
What do you think this episode's about?
I mean, it's really about that. It's about the trouble saying what you mean. It's
Yeah.
also a little bit about the trouble of fitting in.
Okay.
Because Cameron Cameron wants to fit in, but there's a barrier. Now, this barrier is not a problem for any of the kids. Like they are having a good
Amazing.
time. Yeah,
They,
they seem to be having a really fun time.
yeah, like some make a comment at one point, but thankfully, like not around him. They don't like you know turn their backs on him or anything.
And they don't know what it is.
Yeah.
You know, like when you're 6, it's very possible you have never seen someone sign. I mean, unless your parents were more. Unless your parents were hashtag great parents is all I'm saying. Um
Thank you.
um so like I get them being like, what are they doing? That's really weird. And then Andrea explains it. Great, that's what you do for kids. You say, that's how he communicates. It's whatever. I don't remember what she said. But like his mom is super freaked out because of you can't just call his name and have him come back
Yeah.
and all of that stuff, and understandably nervous. Like you're always nervous when you let your kid do something for the first time without you like hovering and watching and making sure, because you're just you're a parent, you care about your kid, and if you're able to, and most parents are, you're able to like let them do those things and like take the next step and the next step and the next one unsupervised, and because that has to happen, and they have to you have to sort of put scaffolding around the freedoms so that by the time they have all the freedoms, they are not losing their mind because they never had any before. So, but it's nerve-wracking. And so like letting Cameron go fit in, but he does, and he fits in, and it's great. Donna is having trouble fitting in because she doesn't understand the language. She feels like she can't learn the language. I don't know why she feels that way, but this is a thing. I'll never learn.
I mean, it's kind of like how I was with math growing up. I had such a mental block with it.
Sure.
And then even when I did finally understand something, if I got a question, like if I did the problem on a test and I got it, like I found an answer, I thought that was too simple. It's a trap.
Right. Right.
And it's amazing
Yeah,
I graduated high school with an honors degree. Like, what the? I don't
Jesus.
know. I don't know how.
Because you got answers right. Because it was easy. You
Because
just
my mom was a math teacher.
see, but you learned. And even even in the scenario where you would think Donna would, although, okay, Donna's terrible at going to parties.
Yeah.
Like
At least she
I
looks
wanted to.
like she can move in this time.
That's fair. Yeah, no, she made a smart fashion choice this time instead of mermaid or cotillion gown or whatever the fuck. Um,
um, wait, what is that word?
Antebellum.
Antebellum. Yep,
Yeah,
thank you. You knew
yeah.
exactly. I looked
I
over,
knew what
you
you were
saw
thinking.
the word.
I did. It was floating there. Um, antebellum, antebellum. Uh, you didn't watch enough 3-2-1 Contact when you were a kid, apparently. That was the Electric Company, is what that was. That was the Electric Company. Yeah, they would do compound words, so
Oh.
it'd be like, well, just they would do simple words. It'd be like buh, ant, bat, at, cat, because it'd be two
Wow.
faces next to
Yeah.
each other. That's what these hands are. Um, there was there was a sprockets where they did it, where somebody was having a Madonna whore complex on sprockets,
Yay.
and the two voices said whore, none, whore, none, which makes me happy. So Donna is terrible at going to parties, and I was gonna try to say that she should be comfortable in this circumstance, but she shouldn't. She should be horrified at the prospect of going to another party, because everyone she goes to is a fucking mess, and she's a mess. So she goes to this party. Now wait, you did a study abroad,
Um,
some kind
it
of
wasn't.
abroad situation?
I did a tour abroad. It was
Okay.
with Kentucky Ambassadors of Music, and so like a
Okay.
bunch of kids from local high schools came
Okay.
together, learned a lot of songs, and we got to sing all around Europe.
Got
It
it.
was amazing.
Okay. So it's kind of the same thing. I mean, it's not an immersion program, but it's
No.
a bunch of kids going to Europe.
Yes.
Did they, as part of your tour, set up meetings with 25-year-old men for you
Absolutely not.
to be paraded in front of?
Thank the fuck not.
I don't know whether this is weird or not, because I never did a study abroad semester, but I feel like it's fucking creepy.
We had so many like parent teacher chaperones. And I
Uh-huh.
had even joked. I was 19 on this trip because I had graduated high school, and like I remember joking, "Oh, I'm going to find my Italian husband on this
Mhm.
trip." And I kept joking about all the things. And I'm pretty sure if they had seen me talking to a strange adult male, they would have immediately been like, one, how did he get in this group? And then two, nope, move on. Like,
That is not the way this tour is set up. This immersion program, I think
is pimping out.
is I think it's not a language immersion, it's a dick immersion. Like they're trying to get these girls immersed with some cock, because it is just go, and not just go on your own, explore Paris. Go to this party that is only filled with 25-year-old horny ass Frenchmen and a lot of fucking pastry. So, thumbs up for the pastry. That sounds good.
Also, I the second time I watched it, I had subtitles on because I was like, I want to
Oh.
know what they're saying. I want to be sure. Um, and it says in the subtitles that he says, "Voulez-vous coucher avec moi?"
That's not,
Except that's not how he says it. Like
it sounded weird. Yeah.
and listen, I'm not fluent. I'm years removed from when I was at my best. So whatever I'm about to butcher, I apologize. But he starts it with like a est-ce que tu kind of thing instead of voulez-vous. Like it's
What
not
is Esca
formal.
too?
Well, it would be like, are you? And
Okay,
it's
but
again,
is it familiar or is it formal? Esca two.
it's familiar. Two would be
Okay.
for, and voulez-vous would not make sense because one, these men are older and they're talking to younger women, and also it would. I don't think these men look at these women honorably or admirably at all. So
Right.
another reason why I don't think they would be asking it formally.
Okay.
So I think they were asking it like informally, but
Got it.
they put in the word or the phrase that Americans know
Everyone thinks.
best.
Sure.
Yeah, thank you,
That
Patty,
makes
as
sense.
well.
And so I assumed that that's what he was saying because she said I sleep with her or
Yeah.
whatever, and he's like,
Yeah.
"Ménage à trois is French." I'm just saying. Um, so yeah, there. That party is fucking creepy as shit, and I almost like the second time I watched it. Like usually, what I'll do in the morning before we watch is I'll put it on my iPad, put the ear pods in, and walk around the house listening to the episode.
Okay.
Just get my morning walk in. I've seen it a million times. It's fine. And while I was walking, I almost ignored the party. Like it almost just went in and out my ears because I wasn't watching it.
Uh-huh.
But when I watched it, I was like, "This is so weird. Why? Why is this?
It's
This is not the way
strange.
anything works."
No, and again, it kind of sets this. Listen, I'm not saying that when you go to Europe, you don't like they don't tell young women, you know, I mean, because we were definitely told don't smile at any of the boys.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I know my mom, further back in the day, when she went to Toronto, was told if anyone asks you, voulez-vous coucher avec moi? You say no.
No.
Like, but I don't think it's fair. I mean, they're acting like only Frenchmen are the men you have to worry about. I'm like, no,
Right.
I'm pretty sure we have to worry about men everywhere in
It's like
every culture.
we've all
So,
heard that song.
yeah, exactly.
The song's the problem. I mean, there's a reason that there's no music in this episode. Um, do we need to talk more about Brandon? I mean,
No.
or you want to just talk about him in the worst person?
Exactly. Thank you. Well, you already
Yeah.
know where he's going today.
Yeah. All right. So let's visit nostalgia corner first, and then we'll talk about what a shitheel Brandon is.
Definitely thought about my trip,
Mhm.
specifically the day, I think the day we got to do the most in Paris, which um I think my favorite part, the funniest part of the day was we we got crepes and
Uh-huh.
I was getting my life, becoming reborn from this
Yes.
banana and
Sure.
having the time of my life, and all of a sudden my friends around me squeal, "Oh my god, Leslie, that guy totally just checked you out." And me with a mouthful of crepes still be like, "What? Where?" And they went, "How did you not see it?" I went, "I'm eating the best crepe of my life. Like, why would I?"
Right. I have priorities here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Donna would not have noticed if anyone was checking her out at that party. She is shoving just every pastry into her face.
Yeah, I was
Uh,
uncomfortable that whole scene. Um,
I was going to ask, does it feel better to identify with someone who isn't Brenda?
no, I mean, because one, I don't eat that way. I never have.
Sure.
I had too many body image issues to feel like I could just shove pastry after pastry in my mouth. But go Donna,
That's right.
you get that tarte tatin, that tarte aux pommes.
I feel like the brains dish was probably pretty good.
Okay, there
You know
was
what I
other
mean?
stuff on that plate to eat. Like,
Right. Eat the carrots.
eat the fucking carrots. Try the sauce because
I
you know
bet
the
the
sauce
sauce is.
is going to be
Yeah.
flames. Like,
Yeah,
just
yeah.
again,
Kelly recommended this restaurant. That means it is good. There's good food at this restaurant. And even if it's things that you've never tried before, I bet it tastes okay. I bet it's fine. I,
my
I mean, You can be
Yeah.
grossed out, but
We lucked out. The restaurant we ate in, I guess it was part of like either tied in with where we stayed or I don't know. It's just the restaurant we ate at every night that we were there. And
McDonald's.
nicest people,
Like
no,
McDonald's. Well,
no,
cheats.
absolutely not. Very, again, I don't remember the name sadly because I was a kid and not paying attention. But like we,
Right.
they had like a set meal for us every night. It was, good French cuisine, also stuff we knew because you could tell they were like, let's just not even try with these American kids. We don't want to be insulted. And I mean the French people, like, we don't want to be insulted. Here's some good stuff. If you want to, try frog legs or escargot, then
Mhm.
you know, go somewhere else and drive them crazy. But it won't be here, and that's fine. It was lovely. Got to try wine.
There you go. But not. But you didn't go to McDonald's. You didn't have the Royale with cheese.
No,
What
absolutely
about?
not. What? I did not understand, and I still don't understand why you would go to any. I know there's different food in like. I feel like if I'm gonna hit up a McDonald's anywhere else, it's gonna be somewhere like Japan. You know?
I like. I hit. We did hit up a McDonald's in London because when I get low blood sugar, I can't make a decision
Fair.
about what I want to eat. Like I just can't. You could present me 10 options, and if I am at that point of hunger, I can't decide.
That's so valid.
And so we just walked into a place that I knew what it was
Yeah.
and got something. I don't even remember what we ate because I don't eat McDonald's hamburgers, but we probably got a fillet of fish because processed fish
Sure.
bears the truth. Um, so I did. I basic bitch went to McDonald's in London, but I just couldn't fucking think. I don't know what I want. You could, I mean, you could lead me into any place and say, "Here, have this sandwich." I probably would have just eaten it. But if you asked me to contribute to that decision making process, I am out. And so that's how I ended up eating at a McDonald's in London.
That's
And
fair.
I'm sorry.
Hey,
I apologize to everyone for doing that.
I mean, the only thing you should be sorry for is that you didn't. I mean, hopefully you got proper fish and chips elsewhere.
We did. We did.
Okay, that's all. It's the only
Yep.
thing you need to get in London. I'm sorry.
No, it
Or
was
like
fine.
Wellington, I don't know.
Yeah, we had that. Not the beef Wellington, the fish and chips, multiple fishes and
Mhm.
chipses. All right. So, what did this make me nostalgic for? I guess my day in Paris. The one day I spent in Paris. It was fun.
Thought it was
It was only a day, and I'm gonna hold my best Paris day story for an After Dark episode.
okay.
But we did have a really good melted cheese on a baguette situation at a cafe right outside of, I think it was the Opera House. I'm pretty sure it was the Opera House. It was some kind of place like an opera house. It wasn't a museum. I think it was an opera house. And it was like this whole courtyard, and we just sat there, and it was awesome.
I love
And-
that I can envision it. I feel very spoiled right now. The fact that I'm like, I have a feeling I know where you're talking about.
You probably do.
Dear Paris, we love you. Sponsor us. Would love to come back.
That's right. Paris Je t'aime. That's the name of a movie, I think.
It is.
Yeah, look at me knowing stuff. Yeah, so I mean, it's a pretty straight nostalgia. I went to Paris for one day.
Oh, praise from
Oh, very nice. I don't think I have any. Oh no, that's not true. We bought. I'm looking at them right now. When we were walking up and down the Seine, there's a bunch of like kiosk places, shops, people selling shit, whatever. And we bought 2 Beatles singles. We bought Lady Madonna and Help, and they are framed on the wall over here. So 45s.
Aww.
And we saw a naked 85-year-old lady.
That sounds about right.
Yeah. Like we walked down like to the banks of the river, and there was just this old lady laying there topless tanning. And I mean, straight leather. I mean, she was brown. Like she tanned like this all the time. You could tell. So
My
yeah.
high school French teacher, I didn't realize this until senior year, but the posters she had up in her classroom with specifically placed magnets, I realized later on were because she was hiding the nude people in the posters.
Nice.
Like it was, a French beach or something.
Right.
So yeah. Shout outs to,
It was weird that all the magnets were tassels, but
like, why? Why
missing
is
a
this so
terrific effect here.
I know. Oh, good times in that classroom.
Nice. Well, if there's titty posters up on the wall, what are you gonna do? Just
I
happy
know.
times.
That's
All
true.
right. Who is your Steve Sanders Memorial worst person of the episode? Brandon Walsh.
Yeah. It's no surprise. It's Brandon because he is, as I wrote down, a manipulative jerk and possessive
Mm-hmm.
of Andrea. Like, you don't like her. You like that she likes you, and
Yeah.
you've been acting this whole season so far like, oh my god, she follows me everywhere. No, you idiot. You go to the same high school. You're both in the on newspaper together. Like, you're friends with her. If you really felt this, like, Brandon has started out this season like, I don't know who you are anymore.
Yeah.
You were always
Yeah.
kind of a tool, but now, like, with your whole like, gum chew it up, babes, I'll have me some of that, and I want Andrea. Like, who the fuck are you?
Yeah. Break it.
I'm so mad.
Fuck off, Mike 58. Yeah, he was such a shithead in this episode. Um, there's only one answer. It's Brandon.
And I
Um,
love that she was like, "Do you think you're so irresistible?"
yeah,
Like,
conceited asshole.
good job, Andrea.
Yeah. Um, this occurs to me in relation to both Brandon and worst person. But how do you feel about Brenda in this episode? Having just dealt with Brenda at her most Brenda. Like,
She's
did she how do you feel about her here?
she's okay. I mean, there were definitely some points where I thought, like, oh, when she was saying, "Ah, you've got that dependent woman syndrome," I thought, you were
Uh,
being such a dick because you're not any better. Like, you just
right.
ran away from home over a hissy fit because I don't get to see my boyfriend. But daddy, I love him. Like, stop it.
Mm-hmm.
You're no better than Donna. You love Dylan. You are so ready to throw your life. You are ready to hop into an old car and rob banks with him. That is
Right.
how much you love Dylan.
Yeah.
Like, or you love the drama of Dylan. I don't know. Again, she was better this episode, and I understood where she was coming from, like wanting to take in everything, live life to the fullest, and all that. And like, but yeah, I mean, she still had her annoying moments.
She did. I think there's something to be said for um her needing to help Donna, pulling her out of her bullshit just a little bit. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
Like one thing that I like went back when I was teaching. If you had a kid in junior high who was just a real pain in the ass, 95% of the time, if you put that kid in charge of like a little brother or sister, like a 4-year-old, 5-year-old, they would be the best. They would thrive in that circumstance where they're the person to look up to, where they're the one who's like big and important, and like they would, like, almost every time that kid would shine in that environment.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what Brenda is doing here. Like, she's able to put her own shit away because she has a more immediate problem to deal with, which is whiny ass Donna. And like, can I call David and all of this stuff. And so she read a magazine, she saw an article, she gave her some pop psychology. But she's removed from her role that she has given herself as mistreated child.
Yeah.
She's able to be a different person.
Yeah.
And that person is much more palatable. Like
Yes.
I could deal with this Brenda way more than I could deal with last week's Brenda.
Fair.
Donna needs to step it up a little bit, but I think Donna will step it up a little bit.
Oh, good.
I think she'll. I just not even like because I know the story. I mean, I do know the story, but like I just feel like this is good for Donna.
I mean,
You know,
yeah, it's good for everyone to leave
yes,
home and to get out of
yeah,
their comfort zone, you know?
yeah, and explore and like make your own choices, even if they're stupid choices. Like I don't know how Donna didn't get sick from all that pastry, like full stop. But
Yeah.
so that was probably a poor choice. But the bathroom and that much pastry, and the bathroom is on a different floor at the end of the hall.
That you're sharing with everyone else.
Yeah, everyone's gonna know what your butthole smells like, Donna. It's bad news. Just saying.
Yeah.
Get more perfume. All right, so I think we did it.
Oh my God, we did.
All right, so join us on Friday, Cheesemeisters. We're going to go on a bit of a movies set in Paris run, and we're still debating a little bit. I think I know you were going to look into some stuff and maybe come up with some ideas. So let's leave it as a mystery right now what we're going to watch on Friday, but know that it will be Paris adjacent.
Yes.
So, and then join us here again next week when we jump to season 3, episode 4, Sex, Lies, and Volleyball / Photo Fini.
Oh my God.
And you guys, Brandon and Steve and a girl and volleyball, and
Oh no.
there's a
Is
lot going
Brandon
on.
gonna have a Rob Lowe moment?
Bravo's had a lot of moments. Which kind?
Well, the one that this one is sort of in reference to, because
Oh,
his
yeah,
videotape came out the same year that his videotape came out.
that's true. No, I don't know why they call it this episode. Sex, Lies, and Video in Volleyball. I mean, why they call it volleyball.
Dawson's Creek also has an episode called Sex, Lies, and Videotape. Like, you
Of course they did.
tell me what year it is without telling me what year it is.
Yeah,
Oh,
no
there's a
shit.
Sex, Lies, and Videotape episode of something. Got it.
Yeah, and Perkins.
And Perkins.
I was hoping that would be the Rob Lowe moment.
Ah,
Um,
if only. Love Chris Traeger.
all right, you guys. So, until the next time.
Au revoir.
Au revoir.